something not now or
I don't have anything except to remind the board members that we have a plan commission set of hearings this Thursday.
Urban Forest Management?
My time is under old business, Mayor.
Okay. Plan Commission report, already presented. DVA report? No. Police report?
I had something. Like report my police activities since the January 19th meeting. I'll report what's occurred since the meeting in 2010 for your comparison and your copies of 2009. We had
That's for the month.
yeah, it's the same time last year. Yeah, it's a similar meeting, similar date of meeting. We've had 2 911 hang-ups. We've gone on 1 abandoned auto. We've handled 8 accidents. We've gone on 16 alarms. We've had an animal complaint. We've assisted the fire department 10 times, other agencies 3 times. We've been on 2 well-being checks. We handled 5 disabled autos. We've been on 1 domestic dispute. We've been on 2 driving complaints, and we handled 1 harassment. We handled 4 lockouts of vehicles, 1 solicitor complaint, 6 suspicious circumstances. We had 1 theft, 1 threatening phone call, 9 case reports, 2 crime prevention notices, and we have made 79 traffic stops with 50 persons, issued 58 citations. We also currently have 13 houses that we're watching, and I don't know how I didn't put this on there, but we also did have 1 burglary, and I don't know how I missed it, but that was one I think that you should all know about from the telephone message that I put out. It was a roost burglary, so that's actively being investigated.
Any progress on that?
A little bit, you know, they've hit Northfield the same day, and it's been going on in other areas. Not necessarily the same people who are at ours, but typically these things are a crew, and there might be someone who can them all. So we're actively working on that. And we're going to talk about the ordinance later. Pardon me?
Yes.
It's on the agenda.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's all I have now.
Fire Department report.
For the month of January, we ran 23 calls in the village of Riverwoods. We had 6 fire calls, 2 car accidents, 11 requests for the paramedics, and 4 in the other category. So 23 year to date.
Comments from the president. We don't have a water comparison, I'm sorry. Little brouhaha. I endorsed a political candidate for the first time in 15 years on the board, and I got criticized for it. I just want to set the record straight. I was asked to endorse this person. This is the one who took over for Kathy Rick, Carol Sente. She personally called the village twice to ask if she can be of any service. No, I told her no at this time, but you know, we would be calling on her when we needed her. Her opponent thinks that Riverwoods is a doormat for Buffalo Grove, and I feel very strongly about that. This was a personal endowment that did not go out on village stationery, even though it looked like it did. That's what they did. But it wasn't, the trustees were not on this. Nobody was on it. I called Mr. Hollander, who was the one who sent the letter. I called him personally, immediately as soon as I got it, explained it to him, and he was fine with it. And then I saw all this going afterwards, so I just thought I'd explain it. So I'm not going to endorse any more candidates, but it's something that, and it was sent out, from what I understand, only to registered Democrats. So it didn't bother a lot of people, and they didn't use the database or anything else. They just used the voter records. Any questions about that?
No, I think it's just unfortunate that the Sente campaign. I took this to be a calculation that they understood the limit of the law, they went up to the limit of the law.
Yeah.
And this document looks like an official communication to the village. And I find it distressing. Unfortunately, I don't know anything that we can do about it except express our displeasure at the poor judgment the campaign exercised.
It is what it is.
I actually called her office and told her that I had more complaint. I called you as well, and I had more than one complaint. And I had explained that, you know, this was an unusual thing in Riverwood, so when you put Village of Riverwoods at the top, it's very confusing. You know, they thought it came from the entire village, whereas, of course, the mayor is within his right to personally endorse someone. The entire village had not, and that they needed to be very careful when they did things like that.
Well, they did things within the law, but, you know, it just,
It's very
But-
typical, I've seen it done many times.
well, I mean, there's a couple of other things that happened with that campaign, I don't want to go into it, but it is what it is, and I don't want to spend a lot of time with it. There's two things I want to talk about, it's not on the agenda. There's a letter to Tom Han, you have a copy, about the gypsy moth monitoring in Ryerson.
Yes, I saw it.
Who's it to?
The director of the Lake County Forest Preserve, Tom, what's the last name?
Is it Han?
Han.
H-A-H-N?
He's the
Yeah,
executive director.
he turned down our request to put trap in Ryerson and in the Forest Preserve, and asking me to consider. This was written by Chuck, but I signed the letter.
Did he give any rationale for turning this down?
Chuck?
This is a project that Kirsten was coordinating, and she had some, her contact at the Forest Preserve reported back to her, and I didn't particularly want to put the exact language in there that was communicated to me, because it wasn't my first-hand knowledge of things, so I just left it and it was rejected.
You know, Bill, a trap on a tree in the Forest Preserve is golden. You just don't give away something like that.
Well, I'll say this about it. Their understanding was, I think, was that they didn't see the benefit in it for them, because they knew they had gypsy moths. So that's what the reason I wrote the letter like that was for all the communities adjacent to and influenced by the gypsy moth population that exists in Ryerson, and we respect the fact that it's their management decision not to spray and all those things. I think it's very important to establish a control area that will provide all the communities that are in the vicinity of Ryerson ongoing baseline information on an area that doesn't spray, because it's extremely difficult to find some balance between how effective is the spray, what was, there's all kinds of variables involved in this process. So I think it'd be very useful information, not just for the Village of Riverwoods, but for Lincolnshire, whoever else is affected by this.
Did you hear anything back from Ann Main or Susie Schultz?
No.
What, as far as this letter's concerned?
No, they haven't gone.
Just went out today.
That just went out today.
Oh,
Just went out today.
okay. Well, you would think that on election day you'd be a little quicker.
I think they were a little busy today.
All right, the other thing is, it looks like the RRA is not going to do anything about cleanup day, and I would like to get some volunteers and talk about, what to do about that. I'm pretty sure, if nothing else, the village will sponsor it, but we're going to talk about that at a future date. But the RRA has fallen apart as far as I'm concerned. They're just not doing anything.
Have you talked to the president about it?
No, I haven't.
I'll get him a call.
Who did you hear from that they were going to?
We got a call, Cheryl got a call, and from one of our residents who was active in that, and said, it's not happening. So, I'm just going to bring it to everybody's attention. Okay. I would like to push up something in the agenda and talk about the discussion for the new police building, because we have Mr. Lee. Does anybody have any introduction for that?